Hi, I'm Amy Showalter, live and uncut, and I want to share with you 3 aspects of our grassroots and PAC training approaches for grassroots volunteers and PAC recruiters and staff as well. Number 1, we believe it's really important that you and your team know how to influence rather than just advocate. Advocacy is fine, not against advocacy, but advocacy is the activity. It's not the result. Influence and persuasion, getting that person to change their mind and to embrace your approach, that's the goal. That's the goal. And advocacy and influence are 2 incredibly different things, 2 different disciplines, and I don't think it's enough to be an advocate anymore. It's not enough to know the do's and don'ts for legislator communications and how they prefer to get their information, whether through Facebook or Twitter or email, and how often they look at their Twitter feed. I don't think that's as important as knowing the interpersonal triggers, the environment surrounding that lawmaker, and how to impact that, how to build trust, how to build credibility with lawmakers. Those are the things that'll make you and your team of grassroots volunteers stand out, is getting to that influence realm. So that's something we believe very strongly in, and I'm all for the do's and don'ts. I'm all for knowing how to tell your story, but again, there's a right and a wrong way to tell a story too, and that's a whole nother workshop, so I won't go into that. But number 2, what we do also is we customize our approach by interviewing some of your star PAC recruiters or star grassroots advocates, and even the ones that may be having some challenges, to find out what's working for them, what's not working for them, and do we see a pattern where we will then create our training around that pattern, and do we see outcomes that we need to really focus on? Because what we do is really reverse engineer the process. We don't have a lot of things off the shelf that we pull off the shelf, grab it and plug it in and throw your name and your logo in there somewhere and say that's customizing. I don't believe that's customization. I think customization is being able to talk with your audience, not at them. They don't want to be lectured, they don't want a sermon, but they want high-level content in a dialogue format, and that's what we do. And next, we measure our training outcomes. We believe that you can measure the results of grassroots and PAC training, that you can measure behavior change, and that's something that we insist on with our clients. Not all of them take us up on it, that's fine, but the ones that do, we see great increases in the number of lawmaker relationships they have. We see an increase in the quality of interaction with lawmakers. We see an increase in the number of people who volunteer for campaigns of lawmakers. Never have I had a client undergo our training, have the benchmarks, the pre-training benchmarks, post-training benchmark measurement, and have grassroots performance decline or get worse. It always gets better. And that benefits you as a staff person because you can show the ROI for your work. So I think that's very important as you look at your training options. And last, I'm someone who actually has had to recruit, motivate, influence, and fire, yes, fire, volunteers occasionally in my life as a grassroots manager of a very successful corporate grassroots program. So I've been where you are. I know what it's like. I know the internal politics that surround your efforts with your volunteers and how to work through those. So I've been on the ground. I'm not going to give you theory. I'm going to tell you what works in the real world. So I hope you have a chance to look at some of our materials on our website, some of our free articles, and see if our training approach would work for you. Thanks. This is Amy, live and uncut.